Welcome to this new series called The Pace of Peace. There's a beautiful scripture in Isaiah 9, and it's the names of Jesus, the names of God. And it says, He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. I love that name, the Prince of Peace. Peace isn't just a state, it's a person. It's knowing Jesus that brings peace into our lives. These days, in the 21st century, we live with immense pressure from all kinds of sides. That means that many people, even great, good Christians, are living with low-level anxiety and low-level depression, and just the hustle and the hurry of life is kind of overtaking us. This comes from two places, and this is really why I want to do a series on this. There's two things going on, and the number one is that over the last 100 years, work has changed so much. Do you realize when Henry Ford first started the production line in a big way? I mean, people hated it. He was taking a craftsman that would make beautiful things, and all of a sudden they had to just sit there and turn a wrench 8,000 times. They were no longer making things of beauty that they could say, I made that. And he was having to hire 80, 90,000 people just to keep 10,000 on the production line because they were leaving so quickly. They hated it. They rioted. What he decided to do in the end was he doubled their wages, and all the riots went away and people settled down. In other words, meaningless work had a price. And work has changed over the last 100 years. We do a lot more simply for money these days rather than for meaning, and that's transformed how we live more than we know. You know, they always say, does a fish know that it's swimming in water? You know, two fish swimming along, oh, the water isn't very good here, one says to the other, and the other goes, what's water? Doesn't even know he's in it. We are in things and we don't even know that we're swimming in a culture and a philosophy and a way of thinking and how it's deeply affecting us. Work has transformed how we all live. The other thing is the white noise of life. The information age has transformed how we live. I heard an amazing story the other day. Martin Luther King, he was in terrible trouble. He'd been jailed, just got out of jail. He was really up against it in his pursuit of justice. And he sat there in his home, depressed one day, feeling really down. And in the silence, the voice of God came to him. And it said something like, I can't quote it verbatim, but it was, Martin Luther King, I am with you. Stand up for justice. Stand up for what is right. Stand up for righteousness. And lo, I will be with you to the end of the age. And of course, Martin Luther King went on to transform society. And the way I heard the story put the other day, the person said, what if Martin Luther King had an iPhone? Just think of it. When many people are a bit down or in a quiet moment, in an empty moment, these days we just reach for our phones. And in fact, psychologists and scientists are still trying to work out what is going to happen to this generation that doesn't have the moments of boredom and silence and quiet like we used to have. We need to learn to recapture silence in such a noisy world, because silence is something that our souls really need. They say that 70% of adults today reach for their phone the moment they're in a moment of boredom. We no longer stand in a coffee queue just waiting for our coffee. We have a quick scroll, a quick flick, a quick like, and our empty moments are suddenly all filled up. But God speaks in the empty moments. What's going to happen to us if we don't learn to capture them once again? And so work has changed, and the white noise of life has changed us. Through this series, we're going to discover, how can I quieten my soul and find the pace of peace once again in my life? As we go into 2020, I want you to sense a remarkable shift, that you learn to walk in peace with the Prince of Peace like never before.